Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the VAU mic check. All right, today we're pattern breaking. Yeah, we're going to break your pattern. We're going to get rid of the announcery or the one note thing that happens sometimes when we get into doing things. We run into habits or patterns, and today we want to break them. And so, with that, we have this piece of copy. It's a rather older piece of copy, but it's going to be really good for working around that sort of thing. It's an explainer video. It was made for an ID spot. So, everybody got your copy?
I know I did.
Copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who wants to take this thing first?
Well, you made me go first last week, so.
Well, don't worry, you're off the hook.
All right.
Oh, I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I usually lay back, but I picked up several affiliate clients, and I need to really sink in here and dig in. And the challenge I deal with is, I'm heard daily doing a wide variety of things. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, are listeners going, oh, here's that guy again? Is he going to sound different? Is he going to do something different? How does the daily relationship that listeners have with you relate to picking new attitudes, characters, or directions on scripts? So that's something that, Nathan, you can give me your feedback on after I do a few reads. Just give me a second here. Okay, take one. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think that they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. It's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
The pacing was a little fast, but it had that nice warm delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just actually coming back from a run, so that's probably why. Okay. By the way, who wrote this garbage?
I have no idea. This thing's been around for several years. So.
Oh, God,
This garbage, unfortunately, has already been performed somewhere.
It's been performed multiple times.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's just because I refer to it as garbage, that doesn't mean it's not actual. I mean, there's a lot of garbage that's actual.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I like how you threw away the comma between programming and just in case there's any doubt.
Right.
Right. I'm very, very familiar with the original read of this copy. And so for me, this is going to be more of a challenge than anybody else in this room. But that was a terrific throwaway of punctuation because it just made it flow differently.
Nathan, there you are showing your age, unfortunately. Well, one of the things that I noticed is you added in a couple of laughs, and I see what you were trying to go for with that, but it made you sound nervous. It made it sound like you were not quite sure of what was coming next, and or trying to force the friendly sound through that. I would say stay away from the laughing.
So you heard a chuckle on the lines?
Yeah.
I didn't think I was chuckling. Then again, when you're doing it, you can't really listen to yourself. So I probably did it and wasn't aware.
No, I definitely heard it. I have to take a slight exception. I didn't necessarily think it's made you sound nervous. It made you sound friendly, and we are talking about kids programming here. But it did seem a little forced.
Got it. And you know what? This feels interesting. This feels like a Disney read. This falls into the world of Disney family programming, Fox Family Channel, even if I don't know if they're still around, but that kind of, listen, we're just happy family people here. And that's PBS, right? That's that world. And Sea World, Disney World, Universal World. I mean, I know that's not what this spot is for, but the genre is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I have done a lot of that kind of stuff. Let me try what I usually do for stuff like this. Don't you just love kids? We do, and we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
Now that felt like it came from one of those channels.
Right. That's what I usually do for that kind of thing. It's very like, hey, inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. What? How about fun and uplifting? But fun this is a TV, so there are different cards on this. It's inspirational card, educational, different card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, you nailed it. Okay, when you said that about the family-friendly genre. Okay, because that's really the genre it was designed for. One of those literally one of those kind of channels.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a more like a PBS Kids sort of thing. Like public television.
Okay, stay energetic. Is there an age range attached to this?
Well, you're actually talking more to parents than you are to the children, but it's done in the children's block of programming. So it's kind of one of those things where it's still got to keep the kids glued to the TV waiting for what's going to come next.
So, and the heart of the matter is, this is programming that you want your kids to watch.
Exactly.
It's our way of letting you know. This educational instructional program has been designed especially. It sounds like a line written by a lawyer. Yeah. So it's like the attitude on this. All right. So what are the different possibilities character-wise that I could use to create variety with this kind of a thing? I mean, I try, that warm guy, like, hey, don't you just love, like, okay. So for me, that's kind of like a dad. That's sort of my generic sort of dad thing. I could try like a dude thing, like he's 20s and he's older brother. Like, let me try that.
Okay.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye. No, that felt pervy.
Oh, it actually felt good. Yeah.
Pervy to me, like why would an older brother be? Well, that was just my own internal stuff trying to figure it out, but.
Yeah.
But the authority that comes with, that's why I was asking age-wise, 30s.
Yeah, because mostly you're talking to parents, and the kids' block of programming ranges between 4 and 10, more than likely. So it's one of those things, but parents want to know that their kids are watching something healthy and wholesome.
But this really has to come through. Like, okay, parents trust this guy saying this, because the first line, bro, is "Don't you just love kids?" I don't want Pee Wee Herman saying this to me.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. First of all, let's try to stay away from the self-analysis right after reading, because the more you do that, the less you're paying attention to your characterization and your reading and delivery, because it kind of faded off towards the end of your delivery a little bit, because it seems like you were just listening to yourself too much and coming up with, no, that doesn't sound quite right.
Right.
Secondly, when it comes to characterization, you got to look at, other places where parents will trust their kids with an authority figure. So think of things like, I don't know, like daycares or like after school programs, things like maybe where, mid 20, early 30 somethings are there sort of like, in the uniform with the, everybody's got the same colored shirt on and jeans and whatnot, and they're just hanging out with the kids, allowing them to have a good time. I mean, I've got pretty close to my home, there's a community center with like a teens program. And I imagine one of these people, like these guys who maybe are just like freshly out of college or something like that, and they want to go into like, education or something, and they're volunteering with these kids to try to get to know them a little bit more and get to know how sort of like the social dynamic works a little bit more.
Yes.
Because they've forgotten that from years of college and whatever that has done to their brains. But you get where I'm coming from there. I'm personally sort of imagining this like, well, I guess it falls within my age range. I don't know, I'm being a little bit biased here, but somebody who's a little bit more on the like fresh out of college side, who sort of wants to get into child development.
I'm thinking maybe Blue's Clues, the original. Somebody like that.
I'm thinking Mr. Rogers.
Oh, thanks. No, I hear what you're saying, Michael. That I'm part of the community versus a narrator versus an outsider looking in. When I'm part of the community, the line, that's our way. That's our way of letting you know this educational instructional program has been designed because I care. Okay, let me try one more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, did you have more notes? I was going to do one last one.
No, I just wanted to point out one thing that I think hasn't been touched on yet. You nailed in the direction at the very beginning of this. Nathan put, warm, friendly, and non-announcery, and I think there's a little bit of announcery creeping in to your read. But I think what you just covered, as far as being part of the community and speaking as if you're one of the group, I think that's where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
Well, Nathan,
Silence is deafening.
I don't know. I felt like that was a little bit more on the not as announcery side, definitely more of the relatable sort of authority figure side.
Yeah, it had that relatable authority figure. And, and of course, when you're watching this spot, it's a television spot. So you're watching this spot, and the first thing you realize in your mind is, okay, he's speaking on behalf of the entire television station and or network this thing is being run for.
Right.
And so while he's connecting with the audience, he's also showing that the entire network and or affiliate cares very much about what your kids are getting to see. Letting you know that it's okay to plop your 3-year-old down in front of this TV because it's not going to terrorize them. Yeah. So he actually pulled that off on that one.
Yeah, I agree.
And what would you say that keeping that balance when you're doing something like this? What would be the, I guess, if you were to sum it up, the balance between, you know, brand promise, you know, station brand promise, and community message. We're a part of the community. You're a part of the community, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're basically that's exactly what it is. We are a part of this community. We care about what we're showing your children, you know, and you can trust us with your kid in front of the TV for an hour a day. You know.
Yeah, let's see.
Which is really the message that they're trying to get across.
Yeah, but Xavier, you're asking more about like how do you reach that balance in the delivery, right?
And
to have some variety with it, because, you know, if I were to submit this to a station, I'd want to give 3 different options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could one be more announcery? Well, non-announce, but more authoritative, I mean, less, you know.
For the time that this was written, because, you know, this is obviously written for a very ancient, long ago time of voiceover.
Yeah,
where the
you were
announcer
still in diapers.
Still roaming wild among the lands. No, honestly, obviously, as you've no doubt seen from, you know, many auditions, that almost ubiquitously the direction non-announcery is on every single one of them. And I've come to learn that an announcery mostly means just know what you're doing. You know, don't go right into playing up the voice the entire time because you were complimented on that, you know, throughout your entire career, and that's what you feel the most comfortable with. No, it means staying on message, just staying on point. You know, it means having a focus of the audience and of your setting. One of the things that I've noticed has really impressed me about some voice actors is their sense of place, is their ability to put themselves in where this voiceover is going to be coming from. So right here with this voiceover, you know, with this particular script, you're looking at, this is a message on a kids channel to parents. Right. All right, which is kind of backwards, you know. When you think kids channel, you immediately think, oh yeah, we want to sound younger and right, more energetic, and we want to connect with these kids, and, you know, they're on their level. But you're actually talking to the parents, so yeah, we want to keep it sort of light and friendly, but it's a direct message to them, you know, not necessarily to the kids. So I think understanding who your audience is, where it's going to be, and what exactly the message is can allow you to change it up just a little bit. I mean, those 3 points are really what you need to focus on a character for the script. Not necessarily, obviously, the message itself. That's something different. But when it comes to character, knowing your audience, knowing who is going to be hearing this specifically, what the platform is, and, you know, exactly what's trying to be told. So this sounds like a very quick sort of, hey, check this out. This is really cool. All right. Don't you just love kids? We do. We think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. You know, this is our platform. This is where where we're coming from. Right. And I think having that in mind will allow you to vary the reads ever so slightly.
Right. Got it. And you know what I just got from that note you gave me, or several notes you gave me, is that it's not about embellishing the warmth, you know, getting so lost in it that it interferes with the message. The star is the message. I mean, yes. The warmth and friendliness is a device to further the message, not just, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, he's warm because some subjective, some esoteric reason for him to be warm. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, he's warm because that is probably the best way to get this across. As I have a tendency to, well, to be honest, to kind of push mood. To like, you know, I'll read this thing quick. I'll go, okay, warm, friendly, fine, and I'll go right into the warm, friendly thing that might have worked on a Hallmark spot, but might be too warm for this.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, unfortunately, that's something that we fall into as actors, and specifically as voice actors, because we don't have anything else to play off of. It's just our voice. We tend to look at the specs and want to overemphasize those ever so slightly, or, ever so overtly, as the case with some people. But what we really have to do is you have to look at the specs, look at the script, and ask yourself, why are they asking that? Like, what are they actually trying to say? Because, I mean, these are people who probably have never actually performed anything writing this. And oftentimes they use the same words again and again. You'll always see warm, friendly, authoritative, non-announcery on like everything.
And with this spot also, the underlying thing is why this was written was spots like this are an FCC requirement. So it's tied back into that, you have to have these letters displayed on the screen to let people know that this is educational and instructional. And it's like that, well, albeit sad thing for those of us who love animation. But when animation went away on Saturday mornings and they replaced it with educational and instructional programming, spots like this show up a lot. So,
yeah, this is basically us trying to explain ourselves.
That line, that's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. I know a line written by a lawyer when I hear one.
This line was written because we want to tell you we dumped Animaniacs for this specific purpose.
But yeah, going back to the whole point of sort of overdoing the mood, when you look at, I think it becomes a little clearer when you look at context. I mean, here they're saying, so this spot, warm, friendly, non-announcery, but stay energetic. Non-announcery always means don't default to just sounding good, because you'll sound terrible. Friendly, generally it seems to mean, be approachable, like, don't sound like you're talking down to people, sound like you're talking at them. And warm, well, what does that actually mean? Like, really, when it comes to delivery, what does warm actually mean? Like, people think Hallmark, but that doesn't work for the kids, for this kids network. What does warm really mean here?
Yeah. Wholesome, approachable, relatable, accessible.
Mm-hmm. Goes back to Mr. Rogers.
Well, no,
I could. What I'm seeing, just my personal interpretation of this. When I see warm, friendly, non-announcery, what it sounds like is, hey, you're trying to speak on the level of these parents.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers, and then it's interesting. Like, you take these different media characters, like Mr. Rogers, or who's the guy I'm thinking of? For Mr. Ford F-150.
Mike Rowe,
guy like him. They accomplish those specs in their own way. Also, Dennis Haysbert will accomplish, right. In other words, warm, friendly on Haysbert will be different than the warm, friendly on Mike Rowe, different from the warm, friendly on Mr. Rogers, because of their interpretation, what's important to them, what's to personalize it. That whole thing about, like, don't you just love kids? Like, if I were to push that interpretation, I would go, don't you just love kids? Because I don't feel that way. I wouldn't do it like that. I would say, you know what? Sometimes I see a cute kid, and they're just looking at you, they're like, got those big eyes, and don't you just love kids? We do. We think they deserve something, and we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. It's coming from my feeling of, let's take care of our children. Let's do right by them. That's my interpretation of it. And I'm hoping that warm and friendly would be coming across based on that. You tell me. Because if I try to do it outside in, if I try to go, oh, what does warm friendly sound like on voiceover talent? And then let me imitate that.
No, I honestly think that all of these the specs are to sort of invoke something within you, because just like you said, with some of these other more established voices in the industry, they always achieve these just as themselves. Well, that's because they're probably pulling from their own experience. So, I bet they remember a time where they were just trying to explain something simple to, or something a little bit more complicated to one of their friends who really didn't have an experience in it. So, I don't know. This is just an assumption, so take it as you will. But it seems like it's all based on your own personal experience. Like this is supposed to come from, times in your life when you felt warm and friendly towards people who, maybe you I don't know. I guess I'm grasping at straws here when it comes to the right words to expand upon what I'm saying. But it really should be pulled from your life experience rather than from some sort of nebulous and not necessarily helpful descriptive words of what somebody else wants on a page.
Yeah. One last question, and then I'm absolutely going to pass because I know we've got a lot of other people to get to yet. This reminds me of something I'm exploring right now, which is the difference between the quote unquote celebrity read and everybody else's read, which is just so screwed up. Because I said to a manager that I met with recently, I said, this is a business, but it's also a game. Because if a celebrity can go in there and do a read, and I can go in there right after them and give the exact same read, and you say to the celebrity, wow, that was wonderful, but you tell me, well, you need to work on it, then this is a game, This is voiceover. This is a voiceover craft. I don't care if you're Morgan Freeman or if you're some guy in a basement in the Midwest. The craft is the craft, as far as I'm concerned. You may want to pay somebody else more, but that has nothing to do with my ability to break down a script. So I guess my question is, I don't even have a question, but okay. So how would the celebrity read approach differ from what I just did in that last take, or not?
Really, I would see the celebrity read and the everyman read. They should be pretty much the same thing, because overall, we are all human. And yeah, celebrity's got a big old name to stamp on whatever spot they happen to be running, and to, the ad executives and the producers and the people that are way up there wanting to produce this spot, they're seeing dollar signs attached to that celebrity's name, and they're thinking that voice is going to draw somebody in. It's like, well, hey, I am on an even footing with this person because I am equally trained, probably more trained than an on-camera celebrity when it comes to this. But overall, I think it's just the heart of the thing is not so much the read. It's what the people at the top are wanting, and like with the movies, okay, they'll put a celebrity in the lead role on an animated film, and yet some voice actor will have to come in and fix his lines in ADR later, Yeah,
the thing is about along with the whole, what's the difference between our read and a celebrity read? It's honestly just name recognition, I think. Celebrities can literally go in there and read it almost how they want to, and because they're the celebrity, they're more likely to get it, just because, as you said, name recognition and, basically branding. When it comes to like a lot of the celebrity voiceover that I've heard, especially for commercials and the like, it's not acted so much as it is just read. You know that it's them. When you hear any celebrity voice, you recognize the celebrity, and that's kind of what they're going for. I guess the biggest difference between any other voice actor and a celebrity is very good at them just being themselves behind the microphone. When a voice actor, you're trying to sort of fit with your brand.
Yeah.
Why? You see, that's interesting. So what I'm exploring is this whole mind that I bought into, because I'm also an on-camera actor, just like Nathan. You know, it's this whole thing. I mean, we can get a call from HBO and be on a show tomorrow, and all of a sudden we go from no name to, oh wow, I love you on that show. I mean, I actually had that experience. I you know, said that I worked on something in a session with a client, and their whole attitude changed in 10 seconds. All of a sudden, everything I did was much more well received.
Yeah, it's really branding and name recognition.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the biggest difference between a normal read and a celebrity read.
But however, it doesn't have to be. There doesn't have to be a difference for me in terms of how I approach a script. I can go ahead and just be myself as much as possible to give myself the best opportunity to get.
Well, yeah, but I would say that would probably apply to any voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, the biggest difference between a voice actor's read and a celebrity's read is how much the voice actor is trying to act and how much the celebrity is trying to just be themselves.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Your brand comes out the most when you're you know? Everybody's different. Even if they have the same sort of, even if two people have the same passion, you'll always find that they're completely different kinds of people. Like Nathan and I, we both love watching animation. We probably take them on. We probably watch though different kinds of animation and enjoy them in different ways.
Yeah.
You know, just that's sort of an example of having the same focus or having the same subject, but different experience. Same thing when it comes to performing a script. We both have a passion for voiceover, but he's going to read a script differently than I'm going to read a script because that's kind of just who we are.
Exactly.
I mean, your brand is you. That's what you're trying to bring to the table. That's the most unique thing you can bring to the table is you. Nobody else is like you. People may sound like you, but they're probably not like you.
Yeah. So more so as I'm hearing, trust the brand.
Yeah, trust
your brand.
Most of the time, these crazy specs that they're giving you are saying just level with your audience. Get to know your audience, level with your audience. Be on the same, be in the sort of the same place that they're going to be. And then just go for it.
And then I can tell you that whenever I do that, it doesn't feel like I'm reading a script anymore. It really, as far as I'm concerned, and I become the celebrity. I'm certainly taking the celebrity read approach. That's really what I'm trying to get at. I want to have a celebrity read approach to everything I do from this point forward.
Yeah, the key word to that one is connect.
Yeah.
That's it's like, because I'm studying in the process of getting into voiceover and growing as a voice actor. The big thing is I've leaned back into studying acting as a whole. I watch, speaking of watching animation, I watch animation on two levels. I watch and I listen to the actors and think about how they're performing. And I think about how they're connecting with the audience. And the first thing right out the gate is, how am I connecting? Am I connecting in a way that people are going to want to connect back? And that's where it starts, is that one thing is making a connection.
Thanks so much, guys.
You're so very welcome.
All right. Well,
who wants to take this next?
Can I?
Absolutely.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I feel like I had a really bad thing with my camera, so I want to show that if you want to take me seriously, here's a quick shot of me in my studio. And I'm really sorry I couldn't get it to connect to my desktop. So I guess you're not going to hear the quality of my microphone, and I'm pointing up my microphone right now so you can see.
Well, today's whole thing is more about the quality of your performance than anything else, so don't worry.
I'm recording it on my desktop, so if
some of us do these over our phones, so it's
people connecting just on the phone.
Yeah. So
I do feel bad. Like, you just saw me bite my nails and all that stuff. So I'm like,
Well, you know, that's the beautiful thing about voiceover. It's one of the only gigs you can do full time in your pajamas.
I'm sorry. I mean,
There's nothing to be sorry about. There's nothing to be sorry about. We're not concerned about the way you look. We're not concerned about, you know, any of that. It's just about the performance.
okay.
So whenever you're ready, go ahead. The stage is yours.
Don't you just love kids? Nope. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning. Nope.
Okay.
I am so out of it.
It's okay. It's okay. Let me just stop you right there. This is like what I was saying with Xavier. We encourage here to go with the performance. Just do it. Don't listen to yourself. Don't be so critical about yourself. That's our job. That's your director's job. Your job is to give the performance. Now, of course, I understand the idea of listening to yourself over again because, I mean, that's what you do in an audition. You do that all the time. You have to listen to yourself and try to self-correct and adjust for the right performance and for the right feel. But just go with it. If you focus more on your performance, that'll come out better.
I have horrible mic shyness too, so if I'm sounding like butt, that's why.
Don't even worry about it. Believe me, we've had worse connections on.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for you. That's good for them. Good for you. Good for all of us. Goodbye.
You were doing it again in your mind, weren't you?
Trying not to.
The thing is we can hear that. It's really easy to hear.
I'm trying not to.
No, I believe me, I totally understand. It's a habit that any voice actor who's worth their salt and really trying to audition has built into themselves. It's like, oh crap, how's my read? How can I adjust it so it's not crap?
Yeah. And you kind of, with that, with it in your head like that, you fell into kind of an IVR sound.
Bob Saget.
Yeah, you sucked out the warmth.
All right.
No, remember, critiquing your read right now in this situation, that's our job.
All right.
And when it comes to doing your own auditioning, I mean, self-critique is obviously going to be a thing, but do that after you're out of the booth or after you're away from behind the microphone. Like you really have to wear two different hats, literally in this, almost literally in this sense. When you're behind the microphone, you put on the actor hat and that's it. Don't worry about your self-direction. Don't worry about anything like that. Because when you're behind the microphone, that's action time. That is where you act. That's what you need to be focused on. So the self-direction can come later. Changing everything can come later. When you're behind the microphone, just act. Just perform. Whatever read you had in mind, go for it. Don't try to adjust it along the way. It just kills it. When you're out of the booth, when you're away from behind the microphone and in front of, whatever software you're using to edit, that's when you can be critical. That's when you can be your own director. Because that's when you're listening back to it, you're listening to the performance, and you'll hear things that you probably didn't notice you did. But if you're trying to do those two jobs at the same time, you're going to do neither one of them very well.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing to apologize for.
And no need to apologize at all.
There's nothing to apologize for whatsoever.
What we are here for is to help you to adjust your mindset, That's the big thing about this workout. You know, we're peer directed. Nobody's here to judge anyone. And we're here to help one another get a leg up, you know, literally just, you know, to give each other insights and to help one another to get a leg up on the business. And, you know, well, like I said at the beginning, learn how to break some of our habits and patterns, you know. So there you go.
Okay. Should I try again or?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. does love kids. We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. Just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letter VI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them. Good for you. Good for all of us. Goodbye.
Was it just me, or did it come in a little muffled?
It came in
Just a bit muffled.
Even though it was muffled, it felt better.
It felt a lot better. Now, on the goodbye, I would have kind of kept it a little bit more in that singy-songy tone. Not too much, not over the top, but just a little bit more, because on the goodbye, it sounded like you were leaving a phone call.
Huh.
Now, Xavier said you're tearing it up in the animation world. Is that true? Been doing a lot of animation
I don't know.
work
I
lately?
honestly don't know if that's true.
Oh.
I'm really bad at talking myself up, so.
Well, I mean, all I'm asking is, so you've done a lot of animation work?
I've done one Christian cartoon.
Okay.
I've played a character in an anime,
Okay.
and I've done some mobile video games.
Okay. Then let's try something. Because I noticed that the last two reads were fairly similar. So one thing that I'm going to try is, I like to call it the pattern break. So what we're going to do is I want you to choose one of those characters that you really had fun with. Just go ahead and think of whichever one you had the most fun with. Now I want you to take that character and read this script as that character. Just as off the wall and as into character as you can be. Just read the script. Don't even worry about trying to be announcery. Don't even worry about the audience. Just read the script as the character. Be this character. And it doesn't matter if you mess up along the way. Just go with it.
Don't you like that? We do. And we think it is original. It's peaceful. At the beginning of our shows, these letters behind. That's the way of letting.
Okay, we lost her.
Bob said it.
Yeah, that was that. We're definitely losing you now.
It kind of dropped out.
No.
No, but still, the point of the matter is, you did the read as this character.
Yes.
Something you're more comfortable with, right? You're more comfortable with playing a character. If at least I'm assuming. You see, Nathan, fun backstory. Let's go ahead and rewind time just a little bit. See, Nathan came on to the mic check a while ago, long time ago. I think even before it was the mic check. Or was it the mic check when you first came on?
No, it was just Michael Montez's Google Plus Hangout.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, way back in the day.
Long way, man.
Nathan came on to the mic check before it was even the mic check, and yeah, he was really nervous getting behind the microphone. He hadn't really done it too much up until that point.
And
so,
I will add this: I hated the sound of my own voice at one point.
The thing is, though, is it was very apparent early on. Nathan's favorite thing was playing characters. was doing animation, was that was his world. And I noticed something really, really funny along the way, is that as soon as I brought up a commercial script, because now, granted, whenever I'm choosing the script for the week, it's almost guaranteed to be a commercial script, because my philosophy is if I'm going to be, if you're going to be practicing something here, it should be something you're probably going to apply to real life. And the vast majority of scripts that I've seen come in have been commercial scripts. But that was definitely not Nathan's forte. Definitely not. But every time we had him read it as some character, doesn't matter what, some character, add in ad-libs, do whatever, suddenly the read changed right afterwards. The read became something completely different. It was because he was finally in a mindset where he was comfortable with what was going on. So if you find yourself dealing with a script that seems like it's out of your range, seems like it's really difficult, seems like it's not quite meshing or gelling with whatever it is you're trying to do with it, what you've got to do is you've got to break your own pattern, because that's what's happening. You're stuck in a mental loop at that point when the script is sort of like cramping your brain and you can't figure out quite what to do. And the best way to get out of that is to either do something you're really, really familiar with, so going into characters, or going literally full-on announcer, or doing something that's so off the wall for you it's uncomfortable. So that would be like somebody like me trying to do a Valley Girl read, or just something crazy, something that's not part of the script whatsoever. That way, you're looking at the words, you're looking at the script, you're looking at the performance completely differently. You're breaking yourself out of the things that you're breaking yourself out of the things that are cramping up your performance, and that way you can approach it completely fresh again. So now that we've had you read it as a character, even though you got muffled out, you got lost, doesn't matter. You read it as the character, you were in character. Let's go ahead and roll this back. Your character is you. Just be as you as you can be, and just read. Just go for it. Don't worry about directions. Don't worry about the specs or anything. Just go for it.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's show, you'll see the letters VI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye. Like that?
It was good all the way through. The goodbye buttoned up a little fast, but it actually sounded like you owned it.
I feel like a major problem of this, it's a major problem that I'm actually trying to get over as much as I can. Like I said, I have horrible mic shyness. And since I'm in front of you guys and also in front of my microphone, I'm kind of like, what's fun? Messing up in front of everybody, because that's how I suck.
That's what we're here to do, is mess up big, so we can,
And I hate using that as an excuse, but it's like I have horrible mic shyness. I can do things in front of, I like talk to people and I can just be normal. And then out of nowhere, I'll just stutter on the script and be like, well, that just happened.
Well, it's because you're going to get paid for it.
I know of someone like that. Public speaker, okay? There's a lot of public speaking engagements, gets in front of a camera and has to be coached. Okay?
No.
Seriously.
You just have to look at your face like, no.
I work in television, so I see a lot. So, but it has to be coached in front of a camera, and I've seen, improvements over the years, but seriously, it's one of those things. I mean, for me, all right, I have literally, which my wife has really helped me with this. I love you, Rhonda. You're so awesome. But what she did to get me over my shyness, because I had a shyness period. Okay. Michael don't know the half of what it was like for me before I got into this. But she sat me down on a chair, on a bench in the bookstore, threw a bunch of props and hats in front of me, handed me a children's book and said, okay, do this in character. And so she was recording this, put it on camera. I am on camera reading the children's book in character and swapping hats. I was literally doing something that Jonathan Winters had done a long time ago, and I didn't know it. That was awesome by itself. But the thing of it is she used that to help me to break out of that. You know, one thing I would recommend for you is improv classes.
I'm trying to save up for that. Like, I have no money, but I want to take improv. I just don't have the capital for it right now, but I actually am saving up for that.
Because that's a good one to help you to break that too. And little things like reading cereal boxes in the store out loud in character. You know, I get a lot of interesting looks, and most of the time I get a laugh, and I love getting a laugh. But I will do that sort of thing. You know, I'll pick up
the life of a voice actor, huh?
box with Tony the Tiger on it, put it in front of my face, and say, "They're great." You know, it's just one of those kind of things. It just kind of it adjusts your mindset to, hey, nobody's making fun of me here, and nobody's judging me, and even if they are, I am freaking awesome. And I love me, and not in a narcissistic way, but I love me, and I love what I do, and I love putting a smile on their face. And if they're laughing at me, big deal. I'm glad I'm making them laugh, you know. And yeah, just kind of go at it from that perspective.
I'll try.
Yeah.
When I get out.
The other I guess more sterile thing you could try to do is just keep coming onto the mic check.
Yeah,
because the more you expose yourself to just reading in front of other people, the easier it becomes.
Oh, yes. I really will work hard on that. Like, yes. I'm really sorry. Like, I couldn't get here last week. I tried so hard.
Again,
no problem. No problem.
Nothing to apologize for. Nothing whatsoever to apologize for.
We are here every Saturday, and you know, unless it's a holiday, but we are here every Saturday. So, you know, come on back every Saturday. We're here, and you know, helping you get a leg up.
So why don't we do this? If you'd like to, we can move on. You can go ahead and listen to some of the performances, and if we have some extra time, which we might, we can come back to you.
Oh.
Go ahead and give it another try after hearing a few more.
Okay, I guess. Sure.
It's up to you, though. I'm just saying. I'm just offering
it's fine. It's fine. I feel like I'm taking up too much of your guys' time. Right.
No, this is good. This is good because the more we're able to focus on this, the more value these videos have.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other people here, and I should probably not be that guy.
Well, there are, but you never know if something that you do could actually help somebody else, or something that we end up discussing could really change someone else's read.
Exactly.
So it's okay. It's all good.
Oh, you guys can work on other people then.
Okay, no worries. But it's okay. Feel free to pipe to pipe up and let us know what you think about reads. All right, then. With that said, Nathan, it's back in your hands. You can go ahead and offer it.
Okay, let's see. We've got John and we've got Takia. Takia, did you get a new copy of the script? I noticed you dropped off, but you're back. So she might not be ready yet. Well, you know.
Well, why don't I go? I've been doing a lot of talking. Why don't I actually do some reading?
Okay. Take it away, Michael.
All right. Don't you just love kids? Oh, thank you, phone. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know that this educational and inspirational program has been designed specifically for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
that was a decent read. There was a part in the middle where you almost sounded like the original. I said, I know the original. So you nearly sounded like the original, but then you pulled away from that and made it your own. And, kept it friendly all the way through.
Just as a reference for where I'm coming from, I spent quite a bit of time taking care of my nieces and nephews, my sister's children, and eventually got to know them. I'd be talking to them about their kids. I'd be talking to my sister and my brother-in-law about their kids.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of, that experience is what I drew from when it comes to this. I'm trying to talk to parents, but around kids.
Well, that was well done.
Well, did anybody else notice anything that they'd like to point out?
I noticed that with the goodbye, and this is like something with everybody on the read, but it's that thing is so hard not to make it feel like, goodbye, that sort of thing. But you actually kept it friendly and light, through that as well, It's buttoning it up without making it sound like you're about to hang up a phone.
Yeah, because every time I read the words goodbye, I immediately think, okay, phone call, hang up.
Thank you, goodbye. So, yeah, I mean, it actually, you tapping into your personal experience and coming from your own heart and your own mind, that works.
All right. Did anybody notice anything that sort of threw them off about the read? Anything that you'd like to hear me change or do differently?
I would like to see you take the pause out of between doubt and at the beginning.
Okay.
Just, I mean, it wouldn't sound rushy, but just kind of adjusting that, because that's right there is where it nearly fell into sounding like the original.
Okay. I'll button that up then. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye. Wow, that was a really bad goodbye. Oh, man. Suddenly I'm very not confident about that read.
The read was good overall. Goodbye was kind of like leaned into IVR, but overall it was a good read, And after a couple of takes, goodbye can be adjusted. It's like, it's the whole, what was it I had seen with Nancy Wolfson where she was going over EA games with someone, where it's like, it's just, it's that tagline thing.
Yeah, tagline mentality.
Yeah.
Oy.
And of course, goodbye is one of those kind of taglines that, well, it hits everybody because we use that a lot in other ways, or we hear that a lot in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
This is a recorded message. We want to tell you da 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 da. Goodbye. But actually, you still kind of kept it light like you did on the end of Good for All of Us. So it may not have been as bad as you thought it was.
Again, that's the self-direction gremlin sneaking in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anybody disagree with what he said? Anybody have any other opinions or noticed anything else?
I would say when you go through the list of the things they deserve, educational, fun, uplifting, yada yada, just vary those points a little bit in that list because they sounded pretty much all the same.
That's the problem with lists. Either you do them all
Yeah.
wildly different or you do them all exactly the same.
Yeah. Peaks and valleys.
I was setting my levels, and that's the first thing that came out of my mouth when I was checking my levels. It's like, I'm going to check my peaks and valleys.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and give it one last take, and then we can go ahead and move on.
Okay.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
That worked. Fun sounded like it
Awesome.
dropped the energy, though.
Yeah, I did sort of drop it on fun, didn't I?
Yeah, it was
dropped
like
the fun.
It was like educational fun. It's like, okay, we want this to be fun, but not as fun as you think it should be.
Yeah, I guess I got it really into my head that I really needed to vary those, make those sound completely different.
Yeah, educational kind of, it was good. And then when you hit fun, you were still on educational.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Otherwise, it was a good read. I just needed to pick up the energy on fun a little bit more.
Yeah, I need to make fun more fun.
What would a celebrity read look like? Read it like you're a celebrity.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
That was a healthy take. And it was the first take, and fun was energetic.
But I guess that would be my interpretation of a celebrity read.
Yeah, that worked. That was a healthy take. And good celebrity read. Which celebrity were you?
I want to be me as a celebrity. No, honestly, my idea behind a celebrity read, I guess my interpretation of celebrity read is just no real characterization, just read.
Yeah.
Because again, celebrities are paid to be them. They did all the hard work beforehand, so they don't have to do all of it later.
Yeah. And really, as voice actors, that is our thing too, as well. I mean, we are actors. We just our media of delivery is different than everybody else's. Because it's like they've got us all grouped in one way or another. It's theater actor, voice actor, on-camera actor. The underlying thing is we're all actors. Our training has to be a little bit different. Our method of delivery has to be different. I mean, we definitely are not going to deliver like a theater actor. We don't want to project too hard into a microphone, and we can't raise an eyebrow to let somebody know we're emoting a certain way. But at the same time, that underlying thing, actor, and which puts us on an even keel with everybody, celebrity or not. That's my little 2 cents and slight soapbox. Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and move on?
Let's move on. I will take the next one, and then I will hand it off to John. And this is going to be a big challenge for me, guys, because, well, like I said, I know this one.
Well, go for it.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve... Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
All right, opening it up. What did you all think?
Sounded pretty personal and relatable. A little over the top with the goodbye, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I thought the goodbye kind of broke character, even.
Yeah, I tripped over it big time. Catch myself before I fell flat on my face on that one. And that's not a self-criticism. It's just I recognize where I was going with that when I hit the period. I'm like, oh, wow, I just evoked the original.
Oh, boy. That's something we want to avoid.
Let's see. Nice to know that I got past the pattern now.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, because, well, that's the thing. Of course, all this great direction that we have been handing off today really helps. It really does. That's the thing. You know, most people's like, well, I don't need to be directed. Believe me, you want to take direction. It's basically your buttons and switches to help you to tweak your performance to perfection. You know, it's not a bad thing to be directed. You know, if you have to be coached, that's another story, but it's not a bad thing to be directed. You know?
No, it always helps. But why don't you go ahead and give it to us one more time and try to just keep the goodbye in with the same character.
Okay. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
All right. No, definitely. You definitely kept the goodbye with more within the character lines.
Yes.
Anybody else notice anything about the read? No? Okay. Well, Nathan, you stunned him.
Well.
Well, awesome. I guess that was the take.
Thank you, Rachel. She said, I like the flow of the read.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have the chat box in front of me, so
Yeah, I put it on my copy screen so I could see the chat box as well. So I do dual screens in here. It helps me to keep from being distracted by my doll while I'm recording. So, but all right.
Yeah, no, I think that was good.
Let us move on. John, you're up.
You are up.
Yes, I am. All right. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you children. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
All right. Chime in. What did you all think? What kind of directions would you give John?
John has just as far as voice goes, he has just the right voice for something like that in the tone that he read it in.
That was what that whole Mr. Rogers crack was about earlier. I heard what Michael was saying as far as relating to parents in their 25 to 35-year-old age range with their someone on their level. I sort of took a different take on that. It's as if, their father or grandfather or something were kind of giving them advice. That's how I interpreted it. And maybe even calls for more of a middle-aged voice like mine. Or that nice female voice we heard earlier. That was pretty good too. Let me ask you this. You know the original read. Was it a male or female character?
It was a male voice.
Mm-hmm.
And he was somewhat kind of in this range, about where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they got this cartoony music playing behind him. I'm not sure why the producer made that choice, but he did.
Okay, so they were having fun with it. I see.
Yeah, they had fun with it. Now, the original spot had a picture of kids playing on a playground. Now, okay, here's the datedness of the spot is one of the kids is wearing a Space Jam t-shirt. So
that dates it.
So that gives you where this thing's coming from. Okay.
Yeah, we've already come full circle with Space Jam being remade.
Yes. But so it was. That's why it kind of had that kind of announcery feel. Now, really, originally in the original spot, the guy got into a real sing-songy thing at the end. Goodbye. Okay, that's exactly what it sounded like. Okay, I could pretty much imitate it verbatim, just because I know it so well. So that's the thing. It's what we would do with it now versus what was done with it when the spot was originally made, and how we deliver works completely different. Okay, so like for those of you in California, you go on your TV right now and you turn on the educational programming that's running in place of all the cartoons that used to be there. God, I miss Scooby-Doo. But you'll see spots like this. Some of them are done a little bit different. Some of them are a little more, singy, songy, cheery. Let's see, Cubo. Lisa Biggs voices for Cubo. So she more than likely has done spots like this. But hers, more of that friendly, I'm connecting with the parents and connecting with the kids tone. So it just kind of works in that way. It's one of those things that, like I said, the original was like, had the announcery thing, and then he, gets into, that's good for them, good for you, good for all of us, goodbye.
Ouch.
He was almost evoking Gary Owens, almost.
Don Pardo.
Yeah.
Don't you just love kids? We do, and we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting.
Yeah.
All right, other than the voice, what would you recommend as far as, direction?
I would add a little bit more energy to it.
All right.
Just
Yeah,
a little,
I would definitely agree with that.
Work some body language into it, like, just pointing and lifting your hands and,
I actually stood up and used my hands for this one, but I guess I got to get more into it.
Just a little bit more. I mean, not too much, not like so overly hyperactive you're knocking your mic stand over, but you know what I mean? Just
It's clamped down to the table. I think we're
just
there.
just motion into it. And you know, because it will help to add to the flow of it, you know. So like when you're like inspirational, you lift your hands up. Educational, you just kind of point, you know.
Mhm.
Fun, you know, and pull a smile into it, you know, especially when you get into the word fun. You just fun, and you can just, when you pull that smile, you can feel that energy a little more. Because see, I could tell that's when Michael pulled back on the energy. He didn't smile through fun. How can you not smile through fun?
I haven't had fun in a long time. Just kidding.
So anyway, just pull that and then take it away.
All right. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye. I don't know what a structural is, but
My only nitpicky thing, and then unfortunately I have to leave because life just popped up, is when you started off with saying inspirational and educational, you ended off on up notes, which made them sound like questions, like something inspirational, educational, kind of like you were looking for the right word.
Yeah, I hear you.
And that would be the only thing, though. You had great energy all the way through. The pacing was really good. Yeah, you messed up a little bit on one of the lines. Whatever, not a huge deal.
I have problems with my tongue today. I don't know what it is.
It's okay. It happens to everybody who wants to get paid for speaking. It's you have days where you just can't speak.
Yeah.
But no, all in all, that was a really solid read for the feel and for the audience. So good on ya.
All right, well, let me try it again and say all the words correctly this time, maybe. Don't you just love kids? We do, and we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, and good for all of us. Goodbye. Can we change the word instructional over there?
Well, that's the FCC requirement in that piece.
Pattern break.
There's words that you cannot change.
Yeah,
And
that's one of them.
that's one of them. I mean, there's some words you can adjust, like the conjunctions of and. I shorten to an in, just to bring it into. This was originally a 30-second spot from beginning to end. From don't you to goodbye, it was a 30-second spot.
You think I was pretty close on time there?
Well, unfortunately,
which we're not timing this today. It's just more the delivery.
I hear you.
Oh, Michael
Well,
has
thank
to
you, Michael. I
leave.
understand you got to go.
hate doing this. I do have to leave. I will see you all next week.
We will
Take
see
it
you
easy.
next week.
Good
Michael.
job, everybody, so far. Hopefully hopefully I can come up with something this good next time.
All right. All right, is it time to pass the torch, or
I would run through it one more time.
okay,
Now, what I would do on inspirational, educational, fun, and uplifting
right?
is just read it with a smile.
Okay.
Don't try to change your pitch too much. I mean, adjust it a little bit. Small pitch changes, not too much, because that's when it gets.
I think I uplifted on those words again, even after you said so.
Yeah, too much of a pitch change. That's when it gets into up talk.
Yeah. All right.
So
Okay.
otherwise,
Try to keep that in mind.
go for it.
All right. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye. Bob Saget. I just, you ever seen the blooper reels at the end of certain movies where they've done 14 takes with whoever that actor is and they just still can't get it right?
Well, you got it right.
I
Okay.
said
You lost
instructional or something again.
It sounded like you said instructional. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it smudged a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. And the thing of it is, you know, it's lines like that you can do another take on and fix.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know, it's just keeping that pacing and energy. And on Good for You, you kind of dropped your energy. So it's like, good for you. You know, didn't quite come out that harsh, but at the same time, it kind of felt that way. You know, it's like, that's good for them. Good for you. It changed context with the tone that it took.
That's strange. Okay.
Well, like Xavier said, when you're in the middle of a read, you don't hear yourself as much. So you're not, you know, you don't catch that sometimes, but
I am trying not to listen to myself as I read, but sometimes I can't help it.
Well, actually, when you're self-directing, you kind of have to, in a way, you know. And it's this little read ahead thing you're doing in your mind before you get it out your mouth. And tricky though it is a skill that you can learn, you know.
I do okay with the read ahead. I've been working towards, you know, getting that right for, I don't know, close to a year now.
Well, the big thing is it's text analysis. And for text analysis, you know, and of course in this situation, you're like practically cold reading it. So it's one of those things. But most of the time in an audition situation or in a full-on gig situation, you've had a little bit of time to go over your copy. You know what you're going at and you know where you're going to go with it. You know, you have a little bit more time to practice than you do in here. But overall, for a cold read, you're working it, you know.
Right.
Just got to work on the energy in some places and, you know, just making those little fine-tuning adjustments. I'm going to let you do one more take, and then we're going to pass this off to Takia. And then Ian has joined us. Hello, Ian.
Welcome.
And,
Hello.
Hello.
Do you have your copy?
Yes, I do. That's why
Awesome.
there's two Ians, to make sure I have the copy.
Ian and Ian. Okay, I'll pass it along to you again. There you go.
All right. Well, to be fair to both of these guys, let's get through this and pass it on.
Take it away.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, and good for all of us. Goodbye.
You kept your energy.
All right. And smiled the whole time. It
Good
does
take.
help. All right,
Healthy
thank you.
take. What everybody else think?
I liked it.
Yeah, Ian, you're gonna have to work on your gain just a shade.
Hold on, my mic's so very far away from me. Let me put it up close. Hello. Okay, so yeah, I really liked it. Nice pacing, nice energy, nice flow throughout. Good job.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. And
Little different than what we've done before.
we are going to pass this along to Takia, who has been quietly waiting in the wings, listening, taking direction, probably taking notes. Hey, I'm going to do this. Are you there, Takia? Okay, she may be having trouble with her stuff. She's not unmuted her mic.
Takia. Takia?
Hello? I don't think she's able to join us.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I think we're going to pass this along to Ian. I think Takia's having a little bit of trouble with her stuff today.
All right, let me put my mic stuff a little bit higher, and it's what kind of coffee is this? Because I'm reading it, and is this like a broadcast thing, or
this is copy for a children's programming block station ID. It's designed specifically, it's FCC required. So what it is it's letting parents know that the television affiliate and or network station is offering decent children's programming that you're going to want your kids to watch.
Okay.
So that's basically the gist of it. And this actually was an original spot that ran on television for 10 years. So, yeah.
That's really cool.
So what your deal is, though, is to bring it from the 90s to the now.
All right.
Is to make this spot relevant for today with your delivery and to break that, announcery pattern and, that rut that we can fall into doing promo spots like this.
All right. Shall we get started?
Let's get started.
All right. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, and uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters E-I. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's a weird sound. Ooh.
That delivery, it was very edgy.
Edgy.
Yeah.
All right.
This is investigation discovery for kids.
very charactery.
Yeah.
Pretty dark.
Yeah. A little bit, because what it is, okay, one, you're wanting to connect with your audience. Your audience is parents of kids from the age range of 3 to 10 or 12, and you wanting to assure that parent that the programming their kid is about to watch is healthy for them to watch, and so what it is, and we discussed this at the beginning, was this is one of those type of spots you would see before, like Sesame Street, or to put it way back in my generation, God, I hate saying that way, Mr. Rogers.
Oh, okay.
We're talking that kind of programming, or Cubo, okay? Or Nick
like
Jr.
Blue's Clues.
Yeah, things like that.
Oh, all right.
So you need to dial back the edge and smooth it out, and be friendly, and okay, this was originally voiced by a guy, and in one way we discovered that it would sound better voiced by a lady, just because of the way what it is. But you're connecting with those parents and saying, okay, I'm speaking on behalf of the network and letting you know that your kids are going to be watching good programming during this hour block of television.
Hmm.
And with that piece of direction, go.
Mhm. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters E-I. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
Well, what do y'all think?
Crickets.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. It's just, I guess there's something about the delivery that I'm not.
Okay, Rachel said
Yeah.
when he's at the we do, it feels like they're saying, well, you don't like kids, but we do.
Oh, snap.
I was
We
gonna say,
do.
sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say,
Right.
just be a young dad talking to another young dad.
All right.
There you go. There's your character.
All right. That it?
Go for it.
All right. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you. Whoa. Sorry. That someone put a comment in and it really it messed up my phone. All right. There you go. Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters E-I. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
That had a good feel to it. You know, you aren't rushing the audience, which is good. Your goodbye had that tone you're looking for.
E and I was too sharp and rigid.
Yeah, that too. It was. E-I. Now,
Oh,
just to
okay,
give you
so
a little feel for it is, I'll just give you a line read. It's like, just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters E-I. So smooth it out. And I would actually, for you, I would put a comma between doubt and at the beginning of our children's shows. I think it might adjust the flow just a little bit more.
add a comma at the beginning of our children's shows.
Yeah, right there where it says, and just in case there's any doubt, comma, at the beginning of our children's shows.
E-I. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
To put in those pauses.
You guys just didn't say E-I-E-I-O, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
E-I.
that has gone through my
Yeah.
mind so many times listening to spots like this. We have some children's shows. E-I-E-I. E-I.
E-I.
Yeah.
I am an AI.
Okay.
E-I. Just kidding. All right. So, ready?
With that direction, take it away.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
The last three lines had a good tone. I think on the, and just in case there's any doubt, something went weird though.
Yeah, I read it. I was like, that.
It sounded like you read a comma
yeah.
into, and just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. You went Shatner on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
like really, like EI, like
Yeah.
blow it.
Not so much the EI, but where you hit shows, you threw a comma there.
Oh, yeah. I think that was me putting the direction that you said. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
comma before the beginning of our children's shows.
Yeah.
Or- Oh, okay.
Here, hang on. I'll throw the line to you on the chat. And
Okay. Respect the comma. Respect it.
there you go. Yeah. In some ways, there's some ways you can throw out the punctuation, and sometimes you have to throw it back in. Depends
There's
on how
any
you're
doubt.
reading.
Okay. I see now.
Yeah. Okay. So with that piece of direction, now keep the tone you had in those last 4 lines, because you
Okay.
had a really good tone there, especially when you said that's our way of letting you know you hit the tone for it. So hold on to that tone and then take it from the top
Okay.
and go.
Don't you just love kids? We do. And we think they deserve something inspirational, educational, fun, uplifting. That's why we're committed to bringing you quality children's programming. And just in case there's any doubt, at the beginning of our children's shows, you'll see the letters EI. That's our way of letting you know this educational and instructional program has been designed especially for kids. That's good for them, good for you, good for all of us. Goodbye.
I think you did it.
Mhm. Thank you.
Oh, to me, that sounded healthy. What did anybody else think?
It's definitely more conversational than the first couple of takes.
Mhm. I liked it. If there's any way of improving it, let me know.
I really can't think of any way right offhand, but because what it is you actually did. You kept that tone. You kept it light, friendly, and you stayed away from throwing the hard edge into it.
Yeah. I felt like I knew who I was talking to.
It made me think I was watching Nick Jr. with one of my kids, which all of my kids are college age now, so that ain't gonna happen. But
Hey, Blue's Clues is a good show.
Yeah, my daughter loved it.
Oh man, I loved it too.
So, I mean, really, when I was laid off from my construction jobs, I watched a lot of Blue's Clues with my kids. So you gave it that kind of take. Really, Nickelodeon may be looking for you, man.
Thank you.
We want to reboot Blue's Clues, and we're going to use Ian to do it.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter.
There, see, there's the tone right there. It's just like that. This is that kind of programming.
Yeah.
You're reassuring that parent, and you did it. You did it at that last take.
Yeah.
See, I hear spots like this a lot. Well, I've done a spot like this too. So, but it's that kind of thing, because it's like, okay, I have to connect with my audience out here. First rule of any acting is connecting with that audience you're addressing.
Yeah. Knowing who you're talking to.
Knowing exactly who you're talking to. And after that, it's like, now that I know who I'm talking to, well, you know the list.
Yeah.
You know the list, the who.
I know.
Last week we did the why. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things, and we will revisit that too.
Yeah. Thank you. You really stretched me out.
So there you go. Great take. And I think, well, Takia was unable to actually join us. I think she was more in observation mode today. But great take. And with that, we are going to close this out. This has been an excellent mic check. We are here every Saturday for those of you watching and listening on YouTube. Leave us a comment below, subscribe, join us on Voice Artists United, join us on our Facebook page and in our Voice Artists United group. Hey, we are always here. We're here to help you get a leg up in the business and have a lot of fun, so come on down and join us next Saturday. We'll be here. Bye.